everyone. I'm really excited. We have Bobby Aldridge on, and Bobby is going to be our keynote speaker for Pete's Epic Golf Virtual Summit. I'm going to do things a little differently. Normally, a keynote, somebody gets up and tells you how your world can be better. They inspire you and motivate you. I put a lot of pressure on Bobby, and he is such a wonderful human being. He conceded. And Bobby's actually going to share very practical stuff. This is not all feel good. This is practical. I've begged and pleaded, and he's going to share his top 3 ways you can improve your golf game. And full context, Bobby works with professional golfers. He works with amateur golfers. So when Bobby talks, these people pay very well to listen to him. So Bobby, let's jump right in. You have 3 favorite things that you work with your clients on. What are they?
So we tap into their mobility, how they move, strength through the joint. And then we have what is the strength of the body, right? Overall, so mobility, strength, and then swing speed. Everybody's favorite is hit it further, right? But if your body isn't functional enough, you can't hit it further because you can't swing fast enough with the body you have. So if you understand, when I go and do a seminar, the first question I ask is, how many of you guys here have bought a new driver in the last 3 years? Almost 100% of the people raise their hand. So you're chasing yards with a driver. And if you would chase it with the mobility of the exercises I could show you guys, super simple, you would get faster with your swing speed, you'd feel better, and be able to play more golf more often.
I love that. And I think that the biggest thing I would chime in is, I've golfed a few times. I'm not an avid golfer, but every time I've played golf, I have back pain the next day. And I'm like, why do you guys do this? I ask my friends, I say, why do you golf? Because golf hurts. So,
well, I have a funny story. I had this lady came to me. Her husband is the San Francisco Giants doctor. Okay. She had pain for 9 months. Okay. So she had access to all the chiropractors, physical therapists, acupuncturists, all the San Francisco Giants baseball trainers, all that. 9 months later, she still has pain. So she comes to see me on Wednesday. She sees me the next Wednesday. And then the following Wednesday, she goes out and plays golf, pain-free, and shoots the lowest round of golf she's ever shot. The next day, she went out and beat that. 77 she shot the next day. And this is a 67-year-old lady. So she beat her scores. She played pain-free. And it was only within 3 weeks she was feeling better. This is a lady that had pain for 9 months with the top level trainers helping her. So what I'm telling you guys, not any magic here. It's super simple. One of my golf pros said it's almost like fitness for dummies because it is so simple. It's literally your feet are 40 inches apart. Now they're 42 inches apart. Your hands at 20. It's super simple. So, yeah. That makes sense, Jeff?
And I think that's the key and why I'm excited to be having this conversation with you. I think a lot of people start with the most complicated, they go and spend the money on drivers. But the reality is if you haven't figured out the mobility piece, you can't build your strength. And if you don't have the strength, you're not going to have the swing speed. So I love it, as the fitness for dummies, but I also see it as the core foundation. If you can work on that mobility piece. And by the way, for those listening, I think, Bobby, I'll get you to do a couple of demos or something, but it's not complicated, intensely. You need a personal trainer and a spotter and, a team of physio. It's just basic learning how to move the body. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, you do this at home, guys. During COVID, I was busy because everybody was home and they were looking for something to do. This with the mat, blocks, and bands, super simple for you to do at home. So there is no gym. You don't have to go anywhere. It's also great in a corporate wellness setting. So when you're at work, we set up a couple of these things so you can do them throughout the day. So if you're doing 1 to 3 exercises at work every day, at the end of the week, you did 15 exercises. That's going to make you feel better. Super, super simple in that way. Yeah, and I can show you a couple exercises. Just
show me your 2 favorites. Let's put Bobby on the spot.
So like one of my favorites is this one. If you have a ball and you have the mat, I'm going to put my feet basically at 54 inches right now. Okay. So 54 inches. And then I'm going to just reach and stretch out my back. Okay. I'm going to walk that across and I'm going to stretch out the other side. Now, the key to this is after I do both sides, I'm going to go 2 inches wider. So now I'm out to 56 inches. Okay. I'm going to stretch it. So you guys are going to find what's comfortable for you to open up your hips. But this is just stretching everything out in my back, my internal, external rotation of my hips. And it just feels fantastic. Most of you men out there are so tight in your adductors here. It's why your back gets so stiff. Okay. Then to really simplify it for you is these blocks. You can lay on these, right? So if you lay down like this, here's the blocks. Put your arms up on them. Drop your head down and just lay here. This is literally just opening up your chest and shoulders and getting some internal, external rotation in my feet right here. So I do this exercise every night, and anyone can do this. If you're a total beginner, you start here. As you get better, you go to here, and then eventually you'll go up to the 12-inch side, which is the tallest, right? Just opens up your chest and shoulders. Super simple exercise. And then one of my favorites, the wall windmill, where my back is up against the wall, my head, my shoulders, everything's touching the wall. And then I'm just going to glide the wall. And right now my feet are 1 box apart. Okay. So I do 10, then I go to 2 boxes apart, 3 boxes apart, 4 boxes apart, till you get to a point where, okay, that's enough for me. But if you're doing this consistently, you'll get further and further apart. But this is taking out the rotation in your body, right? Because everything's touching the wall. So you might say, wow, it's easy to go to the left, but it's hard to go to the right, right? Especially if you're a left-handed golfer. You're going to be stiffer on one side than the other. So anybody could do all 3 of those exercises I just showed you easily. You find out what your metric is. You could be 30 inches apart. I have some guys that can't even get their feet apart 30 inches, right? So if they can do that, they can go next week to 32 inches and then 34 inches. And all of a sudden you start saying, geez, my back pain's gone away. Wow, because you're stretching out your lats, which connects high up in the traps all the way down to your low back. You're opening that all up. Then you're opening your inner thighs, which is going to reduce that tension on the back. So the hips aren't always being pulled on because of those adductors. So those are just 3 simple exercises that you guys could start with right off the start, with the windmills against the wall, laying on the blocks, and then spread your feet wide, open up those adductors, and get you moving better. Super simple.
Well, you mentioned something the last time we chatted that sort of really stuck in my brain. And, you know, I'd like to ask the question on behalf of the audience. How many of you out there actually spend any time whatsoever before you hit the golf course working on your mobility? And you know the answer to this, but I want people to think about it, because I'm going to guess the number is really small.
Yep. And there's one exercise I have that I have all my golf pros use before they play. One, where they spread their feet wide, they hold their strap that I have that has numbers on. You rotate and you drop. You rotate and you drop, but my feet are wide. You guys want me to show you that?
Yeah, let's put Bobby on the spot. We're making him work. You don't see many keynote speakers working this hard. So thank you, Bobby.
So this is what we do. You take the strap like this. Okay. We're going to put our feet at whatever comfortable spot you can go wide with, okay? And what I do is I check to see, can I get my arms over my head, okay? If I can, so right now I'm pretty loose considering I've done some stuff already. I'm at 24 for me. Usually I start at 28, but I'm at 24. So I'm going to wrap my hand, and then my feet, I'm going to rotate and drop. I'm going to come back. I'm going to rotate and drop. So this is stretching everything from my hand all the way down through my lats, my hip, my calf, my hamstring to my feet. Okay. Which in the golf swing is what you want to do, right? You're trying to get that length in the golf swing. So I'm opening that all up. So when I finish that set, I did both sides. I'm going to come in 2 inches here on the strap, but I'm going to go 2 inches wider with my feet. So you see how I'm opening up with my feet, but I'm pulling down more here. So because it's shorter, I can pull further this way, right?
Yeah.
So I get further into my hip. I come back to the beginning. I check my arms. Yep, I'm looser. I go 2 inches in here. I go 2 inches wider. So now I'm out to 60. Here, rotate, drop. So I just do this 3 times. That alone will get you opened up and ready to tee off and hit some balls, and it takes you 3 minutes, right? Very, very easy, simple exercise, but super, super effective. And I actually came up with that exercise in the PGA Fitness van when I was talking to Jason Stottle, one of the therapists there in the PGA Fitness van. He deals with all the therapy and all the stuff that these guys have issues with. And we were talking, what's the one thing we could do to really open up somebody's body with just like 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about doing that exercise and rotating, but then we said, oh, for golf, internal, external rotation, if we widen our feet, oh my God, we can get both sides of the body at the same time. And we started doing it that way. And it was literally, funny story to tell you, I was working at a golf event and I was on one of the holes. So guys are coming around, I'm just loosening them up. So I only had them for a couple minutes. So I show them that one exercise, but this old guy gets out of the cart, he's like 80 years old. He can barely walk, he's shoulders, he comes over to me. I start to help him. His wife goes, no, he can't do that. He's got a bad back, bad shoulder, bad this, bad that. And I'm like, don't worry, I'm professional. I can do this. So I show him this exercise. Put your feet a little wider. Good. Rotate, open. I help him. Good. Rotate, go a little wider, open. We do it 3 times. Takes like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And I said, good job. Now go hit the golf ball, right? So he goes over there. He swings and misses the golf ball, right? And he goes, oh my God, I've never felt that loose in my life. Holy shit. He was so excited, right? And he totally missed the ball.
He had all of these compensations, and he was, he was already based on how he usually swung, I'm guessing, right?
But this is an 80-year-old man. So what's it going to be like for a 45-year-old, a 50-year-old, a 60-year-old? Yeah. It's just going to be easier. And the earlier I can get you guys doing this, the less chance of you having what I had, 2 hip replacements last year. I was bone on bone from years and years and years of not knowing about mobility. And just strength, right? That's why I teach mobility. Mobility is the key to improving performance and reducing pain. The key for all sports, all the different sports people are struggling with out there with pain. Get more mobile. Yeah. Don't get stronger, get more mobile. Why? Mobility will help you be more functional. And functionality gives you the strength. Now you can add it. Add strength because you're mobile. And one story that really hits me is 4 years ago, my son says, hey, Papa, can we have a bench press contest? And I said, sure. So the 12-year-old kids did the bench press contest and they got 18. Then the high school kids jumped in and they did 38. Then the college kids jumped in and they did 70. And they said, Bob, what can you do? And I'm like, well, I used to bench 315 and I could do 104. And I remember the day we did it because my shoulders were on fire, okay? So I'm thinking, I don't know if I can get 79. Geez, this is going to be tough. So I get on there and I'm like thinking 79. I got to beat these kids. But I'm not as strong. Bench like 250 now, not 315. So I start getting going, 7,500, 150, 200. I'm like, what the heck? How the heck did I get 200? Holy shit. So is my program working? Is it making me more functional? Is it making me strong? Yes, in all categories. So less chance of pain, less chance of injury, and better performance. That's what this does for you. And again, not with weights, super simple bands, super simple movements, little stability ball, little medicine ball, add those in. You got a gym at home. 5 things, and you have a gym at home.
Well,
Okay.
and more importantly, Bobby, you talk about the gym that you can take with you, because I think it's not just the gym at home, it's the gym at the office, it's the gym in the hotel if you're traveling. And for those who are curious, you can see over Bobby's left shoulder, he's got the BAM equipment there. We will have a link to the show notes so that you can purchase that if you'd like to. But Bobby, tell me, you have some professional golfers. What's their experience with the BAM equipment on tour?
Well, they take it with them. So it's literally in half their suitcase, they have all their tools that they're going to use. That's including medicine ball, stability ball. They break their stability ball down. When they get to the tournament, they blow it up at the gas station. Boom, they have their stability ball. Because not all my tour pros are Tiger Woods with unlimited income. A lot of them are staying at hotels, motels that don't have gyms. What do they do? So they're bringing their stuff with them, their bands, their basic little stuff that they use, but it's plenty for them to do. And yeah, I mean, that's what I teach corporate wellness is if you have an extra room, we can drop a few of these things in there. And then when you guys are at work, you walk by, go in and lay on the stability ball like I'm doing right now. I literally, when I get off the phone here, will just lay down like this and stretch out. Right? This just opens up my spine, my shoulders, my back. I might sit up and do a couple crunches to wake up my core. I might lay on my side and just open up my side like this right here. And then when I'm done with you guys and I have to get back on my next call, I just come back up, sit on my ball, boom. And for some of you guys listening, sitting on the ball, my hips are moving the whole time. They're never static like in a chair. So I don't get tight in my low back and hips because I always sit on the ball. When I do work, when I sit at my desk over there, I sit on a ball. So it's always moving me around. And in between, I jump on my back, I open up, and I do a couple movements there just to open up my back and shoulders. So at the end of the day, I don't feel so stiff.
Love it. And for our viewers, I just want to say I am the president of Bobby's fan club. I love the man's energy. He and I are the same age, but he's got like 10 times the energy I have. Bobby, is there such a thing as sitting on the ball too much? Because every time I see you, you're on it. Is there a too much zone, or is it the more the merrier?
More the merrier, and it engages your core when you're sitting on it, because they did a study like 15, 20 years ago. I forget what, it might have been Shape Magazine or one of these magazines. They did a 6-week or 12-week study with these ladies, and they had them all sit on stability balls. They took their chairs away, but they didn't talk diet. They didn't do anything different. On average, they lost 4 to 6 inches on their waist, these women. So how much of a difference does that make? And it was only 6 to 12 weeks in that range. I forget what the study was. But they lost on average 4 to 6 inches. So just think, your body's constantly moving, your core is constantly working. So your pelvis and all that doesn't lock up. So not only are you getting in a better functional body, you're also getting it stronger, core's engaged, and you're protecting your back. So very important.
Now, I'm going to ask a really dumb question because I know we have some female golfers out there, but I know my wife wears dresses and skirts to work, and yes, she does wear suits as well. Can you sit on a ball with a dress?
I think so. I think so.
Not asking if you've tried it.
I haven't done it, so I honestly can't say for sure, but I'm sure there are some women that do sit on it, no problem with it.
All right, so that's a question for the audience. That'll be our call-in poll is, can you, I assume you can, and obviously I assume it has to do with the length of the dress or the skirt. What other advice would you give people who are thinking about golfing as, they want to improve their game, they want to reduce pain? Is there anything we haven't talked about that we should before we wrap up and let you get back to your clients?
Well, one of the swing speed drills someday, I'd like to show you guys that and really jump into that. But that's with an alignment stick, and I think in the future we will show them that one. But it is the best drill you can do for speed. It's like running downhill, learning how to go fast, and that's what this stick drill is that we do. I'd like to teach that to you guys sometime in the future.
And in your book, and by the way, I love the title, You Can't Shank a Putt. Bobby wrote a book. We'll make sure everybody gets access to it. But Bobby, you talk about the Ferrari brakes, Toyota brakes on Ferrari. And let's talk about that, because I think that ties from the mobility to the strengths to the speed. A lot of people aren't swinging as fast as they can
because your brain knows what you can do. So it will not allow you to go faster. And what it'll do is either injure you or it'll stop you from going fast because it knows you have a Toyota, right? Brakes. So you want to have a Ferrari engine, you need to have Ferrari brakes. Make sense? You can't have a Toyota, right? Brakes and a Ferrari engine. You're going to blow right through those brakes. So your body knows that when you're swinging fast. So when you swing as fast as you can, there's a speedometer on there holding you back because you're not mobile enough. You're not strong enough. You don't have enough stability. You don't have enough mobility in the joint to allow it to go further. So it's going to shorten it up and stop it, right? So as you get more mobile, the brain goes, oh, we can go faster now. Let's let them go faster. That's your Ferrari brakes. So now it goes, oh yeah, we have Ferrari brakes and we have Ferrari engine. Woo! Now you're going to hit top speed, right? So that's as simple as I could explain it that way, to increase swing speed, increase mobility, increase stability, which is strength.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to go faster.
Well, and I love the wisdom of the brain. Like, it knows if we do this, we're safe. If we do this, we're going to hurt ourselves. So it's just a question of resetting your brain and understanding where getting those Ferrari brakes so that your brain knows you can slow down or stop as needed, right?
Yeah, and I literally had a guy here the other day who's brand new to it, but he's a very high level 55-year-old golfer. He wanted to swing faster, and I said, your body's not functional enough to handle it, so we could hurt you, right? If you try to do this. And he said, hey, I want to try. So we went out there, like 7, 8, 9 swings into it, his back seized up. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, don't worry, come over here. So I bring him in. We go through some stuff to release that tension. And I said, did you see what happened there? Your brain said, whoa, what are you doing? And it seized up to stop you from what you were doing because you couldn't handle the speed, right? So the body said, oh, I'm going to hurt you. And I'm going to slow you down. I'm not going to let you go there. You can't go that fast. You're not mobile enough. You're not strong enough. You're not moving well enough. So he came in here, we loosened him up, and I said, do you see now why I was talking about mobility first? I need you for 2 or 3 weeks to get more mobile. Then we'll start swing speed stuff. He wanted to jump right in first day, let's go. And I said, your body's probably not ready for this yet. And it showed him. So that literally happened last week with one of my players. So you guys understand.
And I think what I love about talking to Bobby, and I may not be an avid golfer, but I'm a human being that moves and I have back pain. And I love the vision that, it's the simple things. And I think we miss that, I know somebody who just spent $5,000 on a new set of clubs. And what he didn't realize was that he's still the same golfer. So the clubs didn't make a big deal in his game. What kind of gains are you seeing with people? You do your workshop, it's a 3-4 hour workshop. What kind of gains are these people seeing just by working on that mobility?
Well, I mean, they come to me pretty quickly with, I'm having less pain. Within a few weeks, they're noticing they're hitting it further. Swing speed's going up without even trying. And that's without doing the alignment stick drill, not working on the decelerations and the accelerations and the different things we do, karaoke's. That's all extra. But on the front of my website, if you go to my website, bam-metrics.com, scroll down a little bit. There's one of the pros that during COVID I worked with, and he basically was a very high level mini tour player and hits the ball well, but he had shoulder pain and back pain, and he panicked. He called me and said, Bob, what am I gonna do? I can't get to the gym now. I said, dude, you have your stability ball, your medicine ball, your mat, your blocks, your bands, you're good to go. Start the workout. Here's what you're gonna do. And I gave it to him. 2.5 months later, they open up golf. And if you look at his quote right there, it says, holy crap, do I have a new gear? Pretty sure I was swinging my 3-wood 120 miles an hour, hitting at 350 yards, his 3-wood, not even his driver. And he says it felt like cheating. That was one of the best quotes. And there's a video of him swinging 130 miles an hour on there. So you guys can see that. But he
Wow.
went up in miles per hour. He got rid of his shoulder and back pain, and he improved his performance because he had better balance, better strength, better speed, better stability. So those are all the things you get from doing this. And it's not the next shiny object. It's super simple, guys. You put a band on your ankles and you walk across the mat 1 box apart. Next week, you try to do 2 boxes apart. Third week, you go to 3 boxes. And in the 4th week, we change the band from the light band to the medium band, and we start back at 1 box. You all can do that. You all can know where you are based on that. It's kind of like bench pressing, right? If there weren't numbers on the weights, how the heck will we know where we are, right? Think about it. Everybody goes to the gym and does sets, reps, and weight. Well, how the hell are you going to do your mobility if you don't know you put your feet 40 inches apart? How are you going to know you're 1 box apart? I mean, it's just like common sense to me. But you
I
guys,
love how you see the world, Bobby, because I literally never thought of it that way. And that's I used to do a lot of weightlifting. I worked with I was part of a competitive weightlifting team, and there was no stretching, no, it was all about ego, and you'd warm up and then hit the weights. And everybody could, how much can you bench? How much can you squat? How much can you deadlift? But nobody once talked about, how much pain are you in tomorrow? I mean, I worked with, I was part of the team. We had 26-year-old, 27-year-old athletes who couldn't walk the day after competitions. And it's like, that's not healthy. Like, so I love the way you simplify things, and make it really easy to understand. But with your flexibility, if you're not measuring it, I once heard a great person say, if you're not measuring, you're guessing.
right? Yep.
Sorry to steal your quote, but
Well, that's a business guy. I forget Rocker or whatever his name was, Stephen Rocker, the guy that came up with that quote is, if you're not measuring it, you're still guessing, or you can't manage it. If you're not
yeah,
measuring it, you can't manage it. That's
I
like
think that was Peter Drucker.
Peter Drucker. Peter
What
Drucker.
gets measured gets managed or something. But
Yes, you're exactly right. There you go. But that's what I was saying about mobility. You have to be able to see the metric to improve it, that your feet are 40 inches apart this week, but they're 42 inches next week. Hey, you're getting better, right?
Yeah.
And then if you take 2 weeks off and you come back and you stand at 40 inches and go, oh my God, this is too wide. Well, you can start at 38 or 36, but build back to where you were at 42, 44, right?
Excellent.
Now you're lifting weights and knowing where you are. Otherwise, it's chaos out there. That's what makes physical therapy so hard for people to go home and do their home program. Where do I place myself? How far am I away from rowing with that band? It's guesswork right now. And I make it simple for you guys because I have the metrics for you that you start to go, oh, I'm here. Yeah. So everyone improves. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner, intermediate, or super advanced pro athlete. You have a metric to you, and it's your number. It's not get to this number. It's your number. So again, super simple.
I love that. And, I'm kind of thinking that the metric I would envision as the most important is the number of pain-free rounds of golf somebody plays in a season. And I'm suspecting that number is not as high as most people would like it to be. But you're only going to get there while working on mobility. Is that fair?
Yep, that's true. Most guys play golf like 2 or 3 times a week, where they like to play 5 or 6, but they can't because they need a day off in between to rest so they can play the next day because they don't know what to do to feel better. This program will show you how to feel better so you can play the next day, next day, next day. I mean, my pro that was here just recently, just here a couple hours ago, plays on tour, Charles Porter. He basically said, Bob, I've never felt so good. I'm feeling great. My hips feel loose. I walk. I know how to finish the day off, how to get my feet to feel good. Because he said his feet used to get so sore and he used to get like tightness in his calves. He's not having any of that stuff anymore. So, and he knows how to manage it himself. He doesn't need me standing there. I just help him with the basics, and then I layer on something for him. But again, he's doing the same stuff you guys are going to be doing.
Yeah.
This guy's the highest level pro you could be, doing the same stuff that you guys are going to start with, because it's a foundation. We're building a house. We can't
Yeah.
build the first and second floor until we have the foundation. But everybody goes to the gym and goes right to the first floor, and then a week later says, my shoulder hurts, my back hurts, da 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 da. Because you're starting on the first floor and the second floor. Got to foundationally move well. That's why everyone, pro athletes, everyone starts on the foundation. Then we layer on level 1, floor 1 kind of thing. So
Love it. Now I'm going to take us on a total tangent, and I'm going to ask a question that every golf pro and every, member recruiting executive and every manager of a golf course should be asking. And how does working with you, how does bringing in BAM metrics, how does that make a golf course or a country club or a golf course and country club, how does it make them more profitable, and how does it appeal to their membership retention efforts?
well, they're just going to feel better. They're going to play more golf. They're going to eat during the day. They're going to drink during the day. Revenue is going to go up across the board. So if they're playing 3 times a week and now they're playing 6 times a week because they feel so good, well, they're just buying more drinks, buying more food, buying more stuff, shirts, balls. It's a win-win-win for everyone. And that's kind of how I always try to do things, is to make it a win-win-win-win. Okay? Not a win-lose, a win-win-lose. Everyone wins here. So the pro shops, they're getting more revenue from selling the products and doing the stuff. The golfers are getting more fun and more golf and more time, and everybody's having a better time because there's less pain.
Well, it's funny because I talk to a lot of the, I used to do a lot of work with golf courses, and, the number one thing was, how do we get new members, or how do we get our members, more accurately, it was usually, how do we get our members to spend more money? And the simple answer is, you help them golf more. Is that am I oversimplifying? Because I
No,
sometimes do that.
it's almost like a funny thing that if country clubs would give away my tools to their new members and say, hey, this is for you. We hope you feel better. Follow this program. It'll be great for your golf game. You're, as a country club, helping that member start out like, really? Wow, this is amazing. I get this 3 things. I mean, it really costs nothing to the country club when they're buying a $20,000, $15,000, $100,000 membership. It's like a no-brainer to give them the couple $100 of equipment. And then we have videos that they can watch to learn how to move, how to do this, how simple this is to do at home, And like I said, it's beginner or it's super advanced.
Yeah.
But we're all doing the basics when we start.
I love that. I think that's the important thing. And, happy golfers spend more money. It's just a simple thing, so if you can make your golfers happier, and what I love about you in particular is, you bring not just yourself and your energy, but you bring a system. And we're going to be doing some workshops for the golf courses, and I'll coordinate that and bring some people. Is there anything I should have asked you that we haven't talked about that you'd sort of like to go out on? Is there anything you'd like to share?
Well, I always say to you guys is, it's really about lifestyle. So all you're going to do is add a few of these things into your lifestyle, and your life is going to get better. So it can't be any simpler as you lifestyle change this. So you do one little thing in the morning, one thing at lunch, one thing at night before bed, lay on the blocks. As you build this into your lifestyle, I promise you, you will feel better. But it's a lifestyle change. It's not a big fitness change. It's not an hour every day. I mean, it literally could be 3 minutes, 5 minutes a day. And as you build on that, all of a sudden you're up to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because you like how you feel. And you notice, wow, my golf game's actually getting better because I'm hitting it 10 yards further. Not that you bought new golf clubs, because this is the gift that keeps on giving. The more you use this gift, the more it gives. Okay? You will not get that out of your new driver that you spent $500 on. Some people spend $1,000 on a new driver. You spend $200 on this Matt Blocks bands, and you will keep getting better daily if you just follow 1 or 2 or 3 videos a day. So
Awesome. Now, I could keep you on for hours, but I want to be mindful of your time. The next time Bobby and I get together, Bobby is going to share one of his favorite tips for improving your putting game. Bobby, do you want to tease that a little, or do you want to just leave it at that?
just leave it at that. It's a very easy drill. Everyone can do it. There's two things to putting. Okay, two things: line, speed. If you match line speed, you make the putt every time, right? So I'm going to teach you how to get the line right. Then I'm going to teach you how to get the speed right with one drill.
Awesome. And you're only going to get that if you comment and share this video with your community. Bobby's done a great job. He's helping you, he's sharing, I'm helping you sharing. We want a little excitement. The world needs to meet Bobby Aldridge. I am not kidding. I'm the president of his fan club. I don't know how Bobby feels about that, but I'm self-appointed. So, but the world needs to hear this. And what I love is it's not, long and complicated. It's not spend 6 years, 6 months. It's here's things you can do today that will make your game better. And for the golf pros out there, I would challenge you and say, if you can't match Bobby and you can't show your people how to fix their putting game, why wouldn't you just connect them with Bobby, and then you can practice with them as they're raving about how you helped them find Bobby. So Bobby, I really appreciate your time and your energy. Thank you for hanging out with me and talking about golf today.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, Jeff.